Trump picks a fight with MAGA allies, issuing AI executive order, and DeSantis had something to say about that. Rob, if you want to pull this up. So this is on page 7. I think you got a video on this. So President Trump has picked a fight with MAGA conservative at Capitol Hill by issuing an executive order to chill state effort to regulate AI, proposal similar to one that conservative critics of big tech defeated on Capitol Hill earlier this month. Here's the president. Go for it.
Are you more worried about the U.S. winning the race for AI dominance with China or about AI's potential threat to humanity?
Both. We're looking at that very strongly. We have a lot of threats in the opposite way if we don't do it. You know, you look at the medical and medical research. Already the things that have come out of AI in terms of medical and cancer research and things, we're way ahead of what we ever thought we'd be just from the infancy of AI. So really both, and we want to be very careful with it. We also know that a big part of our economy, it could be 50, 60% of our economy going forward for a period of time at least, especially during the startup, is AI and AI-based. We have trillions of dollars of construction going on, and that construction would stop, or it would certainly be, a lot of it would be halted. So, look, we're leading China. We're leading China by a lot. China knows that, and not doing this would be the greatest gift to China and other countries, but China in particular, that China has ever received.
We thank you for watching.
Okay. So
that's the dichotomy.
I know.
But he just allowed the Blackwell chips to go to China, though, so that contradicts what he says right there.
But I think that the part that makes this difficult, and by the way, I don't know what the answer is. I think that's the part everyone's got to start with. I see people online, they're like, he should have done that. You don't know what he should have done because you don't have all the information either, right? But is it a competition with China? 100%. We got to win. At the same time, most people, I think, believe in states' rights. And so then you say, okay, well, if the states' rights, because if you look at actually in Florida, what they're doing, it's all about protecting the use of your name, image, likeness, et cetera, in the AI, right? So they're trying to protect their citizens, which makes sense. But then if you look at it from a business perspective, so every time that an AI model comes out, do they have to have a different, kind of a structure on a state-by-state basis? Well, that's kind of hard to innovate. So I've got to do something different in Florida than I got to do in Virginia, than I got to do in Texas, than I got to do in North Dakota. Well, who's going to go do that?
That kind of goes back to the car story we talked about with the $19.5 billion Ford, Tesla, California. Right. So, but by the way, this is DeSantis' position on the same topic. Go ahead, Rob.
The president issued an executive order, and some people were saying, well, no, this blocks the states from doing it. It doesn't. You should read it and see. First of all, an executive order can't block the states. You can preempt states under Article 1 powers through congressional legislation on certain issues, but you can't do it through executive order. But if you read it, they actually say a lot of the stuff we're talking about are things that they're encouraging states to do. They say it doesn't prevent child safety. It doesn't prevent any of that stuff. So even reading it very broadly, I think the stuff we're doing is going to be very consistent. But irrespective, clearly we have a right to do this. Now what it does say is, because they're worried about California, Colorado doing really crazy things, that they could have the Attorney General bring challenges to state laws under the Dormant Commerce Clause, which is, a legal doctrine. And I don't know how successful that would be, but the reality is, I don't anticipate that even happening, against any of the stuff we're doing in Florida. But if it does, I think we would be well positioned to be able to prevail on that.
Pause.
So I don't think
Tom, who do you side with? Who sounds more reasonable here?
DeSantis puts up the AI Bill of Rights. I think it sounds very, very reasonable. And I don't think there's anything at the federal level that's basically contradictory yet, because DeSantis is correct. It's an executive order on one side. It's intent on one side at the federal level. But then it's Florida. Well, look, every state has its own electric regulation. Every state has its own insurance regulation. Every state has a variety of regulations that are native to that state. The Florida environmental regulations protecting the offshore area are like 5 times more complex as they are in Mississippi. Why? Because look how big the coastline is and look at what they're protecting. So this is very natural that you'll have these things with the state. But what he's talking about is there is a specific precedent. Remember, precedent drives laws, laws drive precedent, and then secondary, and then precedent drives behavior. Well, there was a woman that was up there sitting next to him whose son was groomed and manipulated by an AI bot. And tragically, he became incredibly depressed, and the bot even suggested, and he took his own life after engaging with this AI bot. And so she's sitting next to him, and he's saying, look, this regulation...
DeSantis is who you're talking about.
Right. And DeSantis is saying, hey, here's an example of something that we need to jump in right now and help. We make the speed limits on our roads, so we need to make the speed limit here on AI. We need to protect this, and we protect name and image. What's also is the very last line of the Florida AI Bill of Rights at the very bottom. It says, also, data centers that are built here cannot impact the ratepayers and of Florida Power disproportionately. The data centers, if you're going to work here, and he said, look, it's not a lot of jobs. It's 12 jobs that are in these data centers once they're all built. They're largely dark facilities. He says, fine, pay property taxes in Florida, do it. However, you have to figure out how to augment the power or pay a subsidy to help augment the power generation. I think that's very sensible because he's saying, hey, we can't have all this open land that's in the north part of Florida, south of Jacksonville, well north of Orlando, and people putting data centers on because there's open, cheap land and you're on the grid. He said, if that's going to make the rate of electricity go up for Floridians, I don't want that, and I'm putting this. So the Florida AI Bill of Rights is running it quicker. Lastly, which is quicker and more nimble, a small group or a national group? The small group, it's a state. And that is the function of states' rights to nimbly respond to things very, very quickly and then get government help when you need it. When a hurricane hits, and this is, I'll give everybody this example, the governor will declare the state a disaster area and say, I need federal resources because what just hit me is so damn big. But in the meantime, who determines where a stop sign goes? The state. Who puts up a street light? The state. Who makes building permit decisions in a given area? The state. Because the federal government can't handle that. So I think that I'm with the states on this one, and I'm with DeSantis. Now, I understand how a tech company will say, am I going to be asked to follow 50 state laws to put a national program in place? Well, there's something to be said for that, and I think we'll figure it out. But DeSantis is trying to protect citizens from electric costs and name, image, likeness and get in front of it right now. He's doing the right thing as a governor leading a state of citizens who are being impacted.
Brandon.
Yeah, I don't necessarily side with one or the other, but I could be critical of both of them. Like this bill, for example, it's over 1,000 pages. I mean, who's read the entire thing? Like I understand the argument for needing like a fast process to implement things. Like you don't want to go state by state having to get approval for it. So like fine, that particular issue, that particular concern, let's get that squared away. But like nobody has any idea what's in this bill, and like we're talking about AI like it's a as powerful as a nuclear weapon. So I don't like the idea of override federal powers and that being like the system for everybody for it. Like anytime the federal government's gotten like the main control over something, it hasn't ended up in a good situation. And I don't like that he's saying that it's for the reason of competing with China for it. Like I said before, he approved China receiving Blackwell chips from NVIDIA. So if we're really concerned about China beating us in the AI race or catching up to us, then why are we sending chips there that are used to build AI? So
yeah, I think that China has the edge because whatever they say, you better do. It's a dictatorship. It's a communistic regime. The economy is capitalism, fine, but it's a dictatorship. You have to listen to authoritarian leadership, whatever they're talking about. So, but also the lifestyle is not the way our lifestyle is. Americans, we're different. We are given certain options. And even though the example we talked about earlier with the cars, the $19.5 billion for Ford, where causing Elon to leave California and go to Austin, and seeing the fact that Musk wants to make, what do you call it? Not Musk. Newsom wants to make, 35 by 2035, 100% of car makers, EV and all this stuff. I think we got to change that. That was a shitty idea. With AI, I would much rather leave it to 50 states. I get what they're talking about, some of the stuff that's got to be federal. Yes, we have a federal minimum wage, $7.25. But let the state, if they want to do $15 an hour, leave it be. If a state wants to do $20 an hour, state needs to have its own AI regulatory requirements. But man, some states, like if I'm running a state, I'm like, hey, my number one is for the younger families, to have jobs, make money, be able to afford a house, and be able to have kids and be happy. What can I do to create a state for that? Versus, what can I do to create a state to get all the AI people to move to me? Maybe that's also not a bad idea, but my goal is to make sure it's a place for people. Who is the number one customer? Is the number one customer AI? Will in the future the number one customer become the AI? Who's going to be the number one customer? If you're running a state, who is your number one customer? Think about it.
Your people.
Who is your number one customer?
Citizen.
Yes, citizen. So are you making it better for the citizen? Are you making it better for them to flourish? It's going to be a very, like you said, it's complex on how it's going to be argued the next 3, 5, 10 years. Go ahead.
I just think the federal government should establish the loosest set of rules. And then to your point, the states can constrict it more.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
I actually think that they're optimizing for two different things. The federal government's trying to compete in a geopolitical, competition on the global stage, and the states are trying to protect their citizens. And so what you have to do is, ideally, the United States would work great if we could put those two things together.
And if that's the direction we go, let it be. If some states want to be tighter, and then if you don't like it, leave. Go to a different state. If you like it, great, go to that state, but you'll be able to make the decision accordingly. Every time I'm at this campus and I'm in my conference room and I look to my left and I see 15 people walk into the other building, they're getting a tour. That means we've hired 15 new people, okay? And last week we had 10 new hires that we had 45 job openings. Right now we have 35 job openings. We are hiring. If you're somebody highly qualified, you're educated, you're hungry, you want to be part of something that you want to go on a run for 20 years, a lot of people, if you just watch us, you think it's a podcast. And by the way, you may have a son, a daughter, a friend, somebody that's fully qualified that wants to be part of something and bring their talent to us. Not an easy place to work. We work very, very hard at a place like this. But if you think this is just a podcast, I want you to watch this clip to give you a little bit of a glimpse, and then I'll give you a link to go apply for the 35 job openings that we have right now. Go ahead, Rob. Many times when people think about Valuetainment, all they think about is a podcast, but it's a lot more than that. It's 9 companies working together on an 11-acre campus. If I was to give you a virtual tour here, you'll see the HR department hiring, talent acquisition. We have full-stack developers that are working on Connect and Hire Metrics. We have a full-fledged events team that puts together events with thousands of people. We have a merch department designing the latest product. We just launched the FLB shoes made in Italy. We have a marketing department. Then if you go to the complete opposite side of the building, 50, 60 people making calls, working for David Consulting, sales, setters. And then on the complete opposite side of the campus, there's a full-on production company with editors, shooters, creating content, doing podcasts. Then you can drive down a couple miles and go to our private boardroom cigar lounge with members only. Regardless of what it is, working at Valuetainment, every day is a surprise. You could be walking into work and right next to you is a governor, is a billionaire, is an athlete. We are hiring aggressively, but Valuetainment isn't for everybody. For the right person, this could be the last company you ever work for. So if you're watching this and you want to learn more, go to vt.com/careers and apply now. There you go. Go to vt.com/careers and apply now. Rob, if we can put the link below as well, that will be wonderful. Okay.
Can I say something about the people I met here?
Please, go for it.
Excellent. A+. Every single person. High energy, smart. And I ask every place I go, I ask them, what's it like working here? What's the best part? What's the worst part? And the woman that I was just talking with, you know what she told me? She said, it's great to have a leader who's pushing forward. There's a movement. You feel like you're contributing, but it's fun as well. It's very rare where you can work really hard and have fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for saying that.
Yeah.
And whoever said that, can we?
I might apply. She was a good sales pitch.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
Bring your talents to just north of South Beach.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.